Melanoma is a type of skin cancer, but it's not the only type of skin cancer. The other types that are more common would be basal cell carcinomas and squamous cell carcinomas. So not all skin cancers are melanoma, but melanoma is a skin cancer. And it's a skin cancer that occurs when pigment-producing cells called melanocytes mutate and they begin to divide uncontrollably. Most pigment cells develop in the skin, so melanoma can develop anywhere on the skin, but certain areas are at more risk than others. In men, it's most likely to affect the chest and back, and in women, the legs are the most common site. Other common sites of melanoma include the face, and it's really important to know that melanoma is the deadliest form of skin cancer. But if you catch it early, it's very treatable, and if you follow some of the rules we're going to go over, it's very preventable. For melanoma, we try to make it simple. We go by the A, B, C, D, E's. So A is for asymmetry. So you want to look at a mole and cut a line down the middle and decide if one side looks the same as the other. B is for the border. If it's got a very regular border, it's less likely to be melanoma. Things to look out for that would raise your concern would be if it's got little pods or blurry edges coming off of the side, then that would be one that you'd want to get checked out. C is for color. So if the color is changing, particularly if it's getting darker and has multiple colors in it, that should be checked out. D is for diameter. So we raise our concern if it's over 6 millimeters, or to make it easy, we say if it's bigger than the end of a pencil eraser. And then E is for evolution. So anything that's changing, something that looked one way and then it starts to look another and it doesn't go back, evolution. Anything that's changing should also raise your alarm for a possibility of melanoma. So we know that 85 to 95% of melanomas are caused by UV radiation or the sun, and that would also include tanning beds. Tanning beds are a definite cause of melanoma. Other major factor is genetics. It's possible that a small portion of skin cancers unrelated to sun may be caused by other factors like viruses or chemicals or environmental pollutants, but really more research is needed to confirm this. Well, at Melanoma Canada, we like to talk about the 3 ways to protect yourself from the rays. And so the first one is to wear sunscreen. So we recommend an SPF of 50 plus. The second one is to use sun protective clothing. So you can find clothing that has protection from UVA and UVB rays. It's often labeled as UPF, which is ultraviolet protection factor, so UPF clothing. And then you also want to wear wide-brimmed hats, big sunglasses that will protect not just your eyes, but the delicate skin around your eyes. And then the third is to seek shade. So we recommend seeking shade between the hours of 10 and 3 between March and October. And so this can come in the form of an umbrella. If you're picnicking, maybe seeking a little spot under a tree. And it's also about choosing your activities. So if you are planning a sporting event or a family outing, then if you can plan it outside of those peak UV hours, you're much safer. So the first thing is to look at the number, the SPF. So again, I always recommend an SPF of 50 plus. Now, having said that, if you're working in the office or you're spending a lot of time indoors, then I will allow people to use an SPF of 30 for their daily. But for outdoor activities, absolutely, you should start at a 50. You should look for something that says broad spectrum on it. I think the most important thing is to find a sunscreen that you're willing to wear every day. And there's so many different options out there. So when people say, oh, I don't like sunscreen, it's sticky, or I don't like the smell, there are hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of sunscreens available in Canada. In Canada, we're lucky we have great sunscreens that are all Health Canada approved. So it's just about finding the sunscreen that you're willing to wear on a regular basis. So I think one of the great innovations in sunscreen is that we are able to get that SPF number higher and higher while still maintaining cosmetic elegance in a sunscreen product. So for me, the sunscreen that I use every day, I love. It actually makes my skin look fantastic. It gives me a bit of a dewy glow, almost like a makeup look for me. And sometimes I'll actually put it on at night because I actually enjoy the way that it makes my skin look and feel. So many great options out there. for sunscreens that have high SPF but are still able to go on nicely, you know, and that comes down to the formulations. It comes down to the way they've been able to break up some of the particles. And then there's just great options out there for people. So I know some people like chemical sunscreens, some people like more physical based barriers. And, you know, for me, I say whatever you want to use, whatever you're comfortable with. The fact is they're all safe. There's lots of options that are out there. So you can pick and choose based on your values. And you know, if you have concerns about allergies for your own self or for your children, there's lots of different products with many ingredients. And I think the other interesting thing that's come along in the past few years is with tinted sunscreens. I think the tints are getting better and better, and it's not just here's a non-tinted and here's the one tinted sunscreen. We now have many product lines that have a really broad range of tints, so we can match, you know, all the colors of all the people in the world. So there is really a sunscreen out there for everybody.